Good afternoon YouTube and welcome back to my channel. This afternoon I'm going to be teaching you guys the foot jam and the best places to use it when riding street and skate park to improve your sessions. Okay, step number one, and the first thing you need to decide is what foot that you're going to use to put in the front wheel to perform the foot jam. When I foot jam, I actually use my incorrect foot for the way that I spin. However, this is what feels more natural, and I always believe that things like that with bar spins or tail whips or even foot jams, whichever direction feels more comfortable is the way that you should do it. So basically, the correct way is to do it that if you turn left, your right foot goes in the front wheel. If you're going to turn right, your left foot's going to go in the front wheel. And so look, basically your foot that is in the foot jam is away from the ramp. Cool. The way that I learned to do it, which is called inside, is actually more difficult because if you're going to fall, your foot's on the inside of the ramp, so you can't put it out to stabilise yourself. If it feels comfortable, you should learn it that way rather than what is actually correct. Step number two, now that you've worked out what foot you're going to place in the front wheel to perform the foot jam, it's time to learn out how to put it in there properly so you don't end up breaking your toes. When I do the foot jam, I put my foot in the front wheel and rest my toes against the back of the fork crown and against the side of the stanchion. The other thing is not to put it in too hard, because if you do, you're going to flip over the handlebars. If you just put it in gently and then let it bite, this will lift your back wheel up to the height it needs to be with no problems at all. Step number three, and it's now time to roll along, I'd say a medium pace, because if you go too fast, you're going to flip straight over the handlebars and knock your teeth out. However, if you go too slow, you're not going to have enough momentum to lift the back wheel off the ground. Perform the foot jam exactly as we did in the last step whilst leaning forwards ever so slightly. It's really important that you get comfortable with this step, because to balance in a foot jam and have good control over it, you need to be really far forward. What a lot of people do is they lean forward, they push the bike forward, but keep their body weight back, and this is incorrect because you're basically just, your weight's back, so you're going to drop the back wheel straight away. If you find that the bike is tipping side to side, you can add a small correction hop, and this will just help you regain your balance once again. Step number four, and I actually think it's really important to learn to be able to hop around and control the foot jam properly on the floor before you take it to a ramp. It's not essential to learn this, because I know people that can foot jam really well who can't hop around. However, it's certainly going to help. I found that by learning to hop around on the front wheel, it helped with my confidence, because when you first try on a ramp and you're balancing above a ramp on just your front wheel, it's really scary, and being able to control it and hop around gives you way more time. To hop around on the front wheel, you actually need to lean forward way more than you think. The balancing point is right on the tipping point, so it might actually be a good idea to start with to learn how to go over the handlebars correctly and land on your feet. This will get you familiar with where the balance point is and get comfortable being that far over the front. And then once you kind of work that out, it's just a case of trial and error, I guess, until you learn where that balance point is perfectly. Once you get comfortable with the foot jam and learn the balance point, you'll find that you'll be able to hop around a little bit. So you can go forwards, go backwards, and you can even go in circles. On to the next step. Step number five. It's now time to take the foot jam to a ramp. So find yourself a small ramp or a flat bank and approach at the same speed that you would usually to fly to the top of it. Try to avoid going into the foot jam too fast. Basically, if you go too fast, you're going to go really high and fly out miles, and that's only going to hurt your foot, and it's going to make you really far away from the coping, which is going to make it really hard to get back in to the ramp. The idea with this is basically just to roll up and roll your front wheel over the coping right onto the edge of the ramp and just go into a foot jam the same as we did on the floor. So as you approach the ramp, you obviously need to be sideways when you're on top of it. So as you're coming up to the lip, you want to turn slightly so you can land 90 degrees and aim to keep your front wheel as close to the coping as possible. That is the aim here, because like I said in the previous step, it makes it a lot easier to get back into the ramp when you want to hop back in. Step number 7, so you're now on top of the ramp and you're in the foot jam position. The secret here is to keep your body weight as far forward as possible and try to find that balancing point like you learned on the floor in the previous steps. The other secret, and probably the most important thing to learn from this step, is that you need to keep your body weight to the inside of the ramp, because that's where you want to end up going back down. A lot of people will keep their body weight away from the ramp because it's less scary, or dead above the bike, and if you're in this position it's going to be so hard to get back in and land the trick. Step number 8, once you are comfortable with being in the foot jam position on top of the ramp and you feel ready to hop back in, it is time to commit and make the jump back in. Now it's important with this step that you actually do a hop, because otherwise you'll drag your front wheel on the coping or the edge of the bank and this will just send you over the bars. The other important thing that you need to take note of is you're going to be 90 degrees, so you're going to be sideways above the ramp, so you need to, as you hop back in, straighten yourself out, otherwise you're going to land sideways and land on your face. Oh! The biggest secret to getting back into the ramp straight on this stage of the trick is to land with your bars facing the direction that you want to face. Once you commit to jumping back in, all you have to do is put your foot back on the pedal and you can roll away with a brand new trick in the bag, and this is going to unlock so many different lines and possibilities for you when you're riding street and in the skate park. The foot jam is a really handy variation to have because it can open up so many different lines and variations. For example, I hope that this video has been helpful and beneficial to you for learning the foot jam. If you have any questions or queries, don't hesitate to write in the comments on my Instagram or to my Facebook page, and also comment what tricks you'd like to see next, and I will see you in the next video.